guys hear me okay? If you can hear the sound of my voice. Shh.
Test. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to dive right in. So this panel is focused on personal brand and branding. Some of our friends that are up here have mastered it in their own different categories. Adam's built up over 20 million followers, as well as a large business along the way. Heather has been on multiple TV shows, famous on one side for the reality TV show side, but been an influencer for years and built up her own big brand and business. Jim Kwik, the #1 mental coach in the world. He has a best-selling book that sold over 2 million copies right out the gate. And over here we have Adley, who has over 1 billion views per month, month after month after month. So without further ado, Mr. Adam Weitsman.
Hey, Dan.
So you've built up this humongous business doing hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. Why spend the time to build up your personal brand?
I just think people today want a connection. You know, they want like an organic, definitely they want to feel that you're involved in the business that you're operating. So like I try to make sure that I'm personally take the time to get back to everyone and make them feel engaged with the company.
So Heather, you've got a lot going on. You've got a family life, you have the business life, you have the entrepreneur life, your wife, mother. There's so many different hats that you wear.
Yeah.
How do you manage it all and still take the time to create this content to build up the millions of followers that you have?
Ooh. Well, yes, I do wear a lot of hats, which I love. It keeps me very busy, but managing is not easy. I stick to a very strict schedule. My assistant who is here, we go over my schedule every week, the week before, daily. I'm just very meticulous with that to make sure that I get everything done. And I'm still able to spend time with, I have a 2.5-year-old baby, plus 2 stepkids, husband. Family time is very important to me, but also staying relevant is very important. Coming from TV and also being a content creator and influencer, and now realizing how important TikTok is and doing TikTok lives, and it's a lot. It's ever changing, and you have to stay relevant. And building a brand is very important. Did I answer it? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jim, you're out there coaching. Almost half of the Fortune 1000 companies are out there or wanting to hire you as an instructor. But at the same time, you've built up this personal brand. Again, selling 2 million copies, speaking at events all over the planet. How do you manage that when you have these large corporate clients to also build up your personal brand?
So I feel like where you put your attention is what attention. We live in the attention economy, right? So there's a quote in Limitless that says, "Life is the letter C between the letters B and D, where B is birth and D is death, and life is choice." And so we all make the choices of where we put our time, our attention. Our goal, our mission is to build better, brighter brains. And so for everything we do, everything is a heck yes or heck no. So with opportunity stress, which many of you must face, we only decide on the things that are aligned with our mission, and that gives us meaning.
So Adley, there's been plenty of influencers, celebrities, kind of like flash in the pans where someone goes viral and then they fade off into the distance. But you get 1 billion views, 1.4 billion views, another billion views over and over and over as long as I've known you. How do you do it so consistently?
It's a good question. And it's a mixed bag, right? Distribution is part of it. An owned network of like real estate online is a part of it. But ultimately, if there's one takeaway for everybody, I would say for the same amount of effort that you can aim to be contextually relevant, you can be culturally relevant. Most people are aiming to be contextually relevant. They want to be the pizza shop that you think of when you're in New York. They want to be the hair salon that you think of when you're in Georgia. But it takes no extra effort, just a different design and style of your content to be culturally relevant. Think of, anybody know Jefferson Fisher? He's a trial lawyer from Texas. He has 6 million followers on Instagram. Do you think he's talking about law to get 6 million followers on Instagram? No, he's talking about the macro. As a trial lawyer, you help people fight, right? You're managing people and helping them have a better next conversation. So he sits in his car and he says, here's what to say next time somebody's gaslighting you. If your wife has ever said this to you, here's how I want you to respond. And everybody is resonating with that. Male, female, what his content is so helpful to everybody that he is now culturally relevant. New York Times #1 bestseller, not talking about law, but his law firm is now contextually relevant and massively expanding by default and proxy because he aimed for cultural relevance, not contextual relevance. And I would advise everybody to do the same thing because it's just a different style of content and a different type of engineering rather than playing so small.
So Adam Weitsman, you've built up this large company, you've built up this large following, but I've watched every single week you'll just randomly post, hey, meet me here at Central Park at this coffee shop. Meet me at Gregory's Coffee real quick. Hey, meet me here at this place. And then you'll have hundreds of people show up and you'll spend time to give people advice. Again, why? Why take the time to do that type of one-on-one type of interaction?
I mean, I think it's really good that your followers, they want to be heard. And so much of it, I think, is better when it's a one-on-one. So we'll do these like quick pop-ups. If I'm bored and walking down the street, I'll just post something on Instagram, like meet me in Central Park, by the dock, and maybe anywhere from like 10 to 100 people show up. And, everybody just wants to do better and everybody wants hope. So we all sit down and we talk about like the things that we go through in life, and we just try to motivate and inspire each other.
So Heather, you could easily be just getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to post about beauty products. You can make 100 grand here, 200 grand here, 50 grand here, maybe 10, 20, 30 grand for one post, and $250,000 for a couple posts. You went the other route and decided to make your own brand, Heather Rae Essentials. Why did you decide to dive into it and spend your own money, time, and energy to create your own brand and product rather than just take the easy street and get paid like most celebrities and influencers do?
Well, I'll still take those as well, which I do. I really am very passionate about my business, and I'm so passionate that I worked on it for almost 5 years before I launched it. So it's a beauty brand called Heather Rae Essentials. So I've been on TV for many years. I was on Selling Sunset for 7 seasons, the Flipping All Moussas, the Flip Off. So I know makeup, I know beauty, I know skincare. I have my esthetician license. I started doing that when I was 19. So, it's something that I've loved. Skincare and beauty is my life. And I want to have something that's mine, that I can work on every single day, that I'm passionate about, and I can, reach millions of women worldwide. That is the dream, to be in millions of women's households around the world, and for them to be so obsessed with my products that I put so much love, time, and effort into it. I could have just white labeled and slapped my name on something, and I didn't want to do that. Everything that I do, I want to do it because I believe in it, I'm passionate about it, and it's because, my name's on it. And I've learned so much in business, and I'm still learning. I've made a lot of mistakes, which one day I will tell all of you about to teach you, because there's things that I did wrong that I've learned now. And but I do know that you need to know everything about your business, the ins and outs, because people will screw you over. And I learned the hard way. But yeah, I love it.
So Jim, one of the favoriteest things of people is to hear their name back and to have someone remember their name. Can you talk us through the concept of why that's important and maybe a trick on how to do that?
Sure. How many of you have trouble? Have you met somebody and get their name and the name just disappears out of your mind? I think it's one of the most important business etiquette skills, because how are you going to show somebody you're going to care for their future, their family, whatever you have to offer them if you don't care enough to remember them, right? Because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. There's a simple acronym, SWAV. Just be suave. S, say the name, so you get to hear it twice. Use the name 3 or 4 times in the conversation. If the person's name is a little unusual, ask about the name, like who are you named after, how do you spell it, what does it mean? The V is visualize. FDR used to go around the White House imagining people's names written on their forehead, or if someone's name's Mark, imagine a check mark on the forehead. And then finally, the E is ending the conversation with someone's name. Because if you could walk into a room, meet 20 strangers, and leave saying goodbye to every single one of them by name, who are they all going to remember, right? And then you become unforgettable.
So Adley, you built up these views for yourself and then decided to start Viralish, an agency to do it for other brands, from Land Rover and everyone in between. Why take the time and energy to go bring on clients and do social media marketing or viral videos for other brands?
I think for all of us, it's kind of natural human behavior, right? Once you change your own life, you have this giant unlock, and you want to be like, just stand on the tables and be like, I have the key and I can do this for anybody. And we saw ourselves replicate it for my brother, for our family members. We made several creators millionaires in a very short amount of time, teaching them how to get attention on anything that they wanted. And so when you realize, man, we're getting billions of views, why are we not doing this for brands? We could cut their advertising costs by millions and millions of dollars, seamlessly integrating them into social and entertaining people in order to educate them. And that's really the key. So we are an agency where we take on like 8 clients a year that are big, but more powerfully than that, we don't just want to make rich people famous. And so we curriculumized our knowledge, and that's our education side, where we teach small business owners and entrepreneurs how to not just create noise on social, but to really cut through with signal. And the results are incredible. We could take somebody doing 200 views on a video on average to literally millions of views within a week. Because once you know how to storytell yourself appropriately and meet people where they're at and the way that they want to consume on social, then it's formulaic after that.
So Adam, it's been fun to watch the journey. We've been friends for many years. And I've watched as you've gained millions of followers just being you, mostly because you show up. You show up to basketball events, UFC fights for your friends, for their charity events. You constantly show up. Talk to us why that's important from a human perspective for your personal brand.
It's hard, as it grows. It's hard to get in touch with everyone. But what we do is I respond to every single DM myself. I have
Every DM?
Yeah, I have a team of 4 people, and they have my password, and they'll read me the message, and we just go around in a circle.
Can I hire them?
No. But it just takes time because I think people, if they know you care and they respond, I'll just go if I see somebody we'll go through who watches the video, so we'll go through and like their stories and show some love back. And I think it's really important that people have done so much. I've been given way more than anybody should ever have in this world, so I think it's really important to take the time to give back and show people that you care.
So Heather, a lot of times people go onto a TV show and they get there for 1 season and then that's it. You've been on multiple TV shows for a lot of seasons. How are you able to transcend from something like Selling Sunset on Netflix to having a show with your husband, with Tarek? How does that happen, and how do you do it for so many years?
I'm coachable. Just kidding, but I am. No, my husband will say I am coachable. I was on a reality show turned to a host. So I went from luxury real estate, $20, $40 million homes, to flipping houses with my husband on TV. I learned how to flip houses on TV. I love being on TV. I'm passionate about it. I thrive in front of the camera. And, I had a dance background. I danced ballet, tap, and jazz for 14 years. So I was kind of a natural performer. And I think for many years, it took me a long time to figure out what I was, I'd say, good at. And when I got on TV, I realized that it's something that I feel like I'm good at and I really love. I really enjoy it. And I love flipping houses and teaching people along the way. So, after a season comes out, I watch myself back and I'm like, oh, I could have taught the audience better in that moment. I could have done better in that moment. So it's constant learning, and I just really enjoy it. And I think, my husband is incredible on TV, and we bounce off each other, and we have so much fun together. And I think that that's what it's all about, enjoying and really loving what you do, and I really do.
So Jim, on one side, you train CEOs, celebrities, from Elon Musk to later on guest Tom Brady. You're training some of these celebrities and athletes on their memory, but also so many corporations hire you to do it as well. Why is it important for these companies to get training for their staff and executives?
I think in the creator economy, and the faster you learn, the faster you earn. Because knowledge today is not only power, it's profit. And so the more you know, the better decisions that you can make. And when we teach people how to read 3 times faster, the average person reads about 4 hours a day. So that means your team, half their salary is being paid just to process information. But learning is a skill, and I think if knowledge is power, then learning is your superpower. And even in a world of AI, I think it's more augmented intelligence. It could be a real accelerator. We're always looking at how to use AI to enhance your HI, your human intelligence. And so I think it's one of the most important things you could do is to be able to train your mind. So many people are shrinking what's possible to fit their minds when they could expand their minds to fit all that's possible. But I think the greatest asset any company has is human capital. And this is probably the most underutilized. We use such a small percentage of it. And so once you upgrade your phones, you get new apps. But when's the last time you upgraded the most important technology that has created all the technology in the world, which is your mind?
So Adley, a lot of times people are sitting and they're thinking, oh, my job is boring or my life is boring and I could never go build 5,000 followers, 10,000 followers, let alone 1 million followers. But you have proof because you turned your husband from his boring job into 1 million views in 24 videos. Can you walk us through the concept of that?
Yes, 1 million followers
1 million
in 29
followers.
videos.
No way.
Yes, and you're right. He now he works with us with Viralish, so we built it together. But he's an engineer by trade, and social anxiety, like, does not want to be on camera. Probably like many of you, you're like, that's the last thing I want to do, and I feel like it's this necessary evil. But if you can get confident, then it makes it very easy. But how do you get confident? Well, confidence comes through competence. So how do we make it so anybody can master organic social? Because we are in the greatest wave of free advertising the world has ever seen. And it deserves to be story told by everybody. So we took him, and I am not a data person. I'm a creative person. He's on the opposite end of the spectrum. So I said, here's how we can design all these videos. And we were doing billions and billions of views, but I was leading most of that. And he was like, I can't do that. But he looks at the data as an engineer. He was developing hospitals before we got into this together. And he's like, I see a very clear formula from all the videos that are the top performers. And it's just like numbers in black and white to him. And so we set a challenge for him to start a brand new TikTok page and see how quick. He was very confident. He was like, I think I can grow to 1 million followers very, very quickly just following this formula. 29 videos. And he said, I don't want to say a word on camera because I need to be authentic to me. So we gave him massive constraints. Pick a niche. He picked like DIY, and he didn't say a word, and grew 1 million followers on TikTok. And now we are able to replicate those results by just formulaic levers that you pull that we can apply and do to some extremely boring businesses. Because here's the thing, if you entertain people first, you can earn the right to educate them on whatever you want and then sell them. But you can't just go for the sale all the time. We all have that friend who just tries to sell us stuff all the time. It's very annoying. So you're not going to be that person in person, so why would you be that person online, right? So same thing online. You have to meet them where they're at. They just watched a cat video and sent it to their grandma, and now they're coming across your video. They don't want to learn about CRM tips and tricks, you know? But you can get them to watch CRM tips and tricks if you use Excel or whatever program to like rank Taylor Swift albums or songs, right? So you meet them where they're at, you entertain them, and you can slowly psychologically funnel them to educate them on whatever you want.
So Adam, along the way, you started creating and investing into companies and products. You have a new tequila brand, you invest in a Korean skincare brand. Why take the time to invest in these brands and actually put your name and likeness behind them to help them grow?
I don't really think my name is really behind the brands. My specialty is I've been able to put great teams together. I don't really have any great talent other than being able to have people feel engaged and enjoying. Like the new skincare brand, we're able to put like one of the greatest teams in skincare together. And I just think that I just want to be able to, divest and diversify into different things. And social media has been a great part to get the brands exposed that we wouldn't have been able to in the past.
So over the years, Heather, I've worked with 3,500 influencers. And the number one thing that comes up all the time is their dream is to be on television. You did both, right? 3 million on Instagram, plus millions more on other platforms, 3 different shows going on at the same time somehow. I don't even know how you do that. Like, how did you transcend from influencer life to then being on all these shows?
Well, gosh, I mean, I don't think that there's like a magic secret answer for that. I was doing real estate already. So, I had done some modeling, some acting. So I was kind of in that world, but was doing real estate. And, our office had a lot of beautiful women, very like interesting office, twins as the owners. And, a lot of production companies were coming to us and saying like, oh, we want to give you a show. And we're like, no, we really are a business. We're really an office. We didn't want it to interfere with what we were doing. And so then, Adam DeVillo came to us, and we liked the concept of like women empowerment, women in business, and it was like lifting women up and really showing what we were doing in real estate. And so the show was surrounded around the girls, and we got on Netflix, and we were like a reality show on Netflix. This is gonna bomb. Like, who's watching a reality show on Netflix? We're not on Bravo and or E, And by season 3, they ended up being one of the #1 shows in the world, and it just grew from there. And then, I married a real estate expert who had a very popular show called Flip or Flop, and we kind of joined forces together. And I'm a brand, he's a brand, and then we're a brand together. And like I said earlier, we just have a lot of fun on TV together. We brought both of our knowledge together and just feed off each other. And I was able to learn a new craft, which was flipping houses, and really enjoyed doing that. And love transforming things and showing people how to do it on TV. So, like I said, it's not some just magic secret that happened. I think I was right place, right time, and then a lot of work got put into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to our panel.
Thank you.